Hi guys. It's only just occurred to me now that I have completely finished filming this video that I'm not wearing any makeup, and usually I do. You can probably tell by how sparse my brows are and how blotchy my skin is, but I'm not going to apologise for it, because you shouldn't have to wear makeup to film yourself and talk about knitting. Oh. I maybe should have, but I'm not going to apologise for it. I'm just going to say that I'm aware that my skin isn't the best and that my eyebrows look a bit weird, but that's okay. This situation is because of the mohair that I'm going to show you later, so stick around. So it's coronavirus season, it seems. It didn't feel like such a big thing the last time we spoke. Maybe it was where you live in Scotland, certainly it wasn't quite so serious as it is now, and now I feel like it's all I can think about. We're a bit worried. My husband Kieran is high risk, so we're a bit concerned. We're still kind of deciding what the best thing is to do business wise, but we have a podcast, so let's chat knitting for a while. Hi there, and welcome to the Kelpie Knits podcast. This is episode 5. My name is Ailey, and I live in the Scottish Highlands with my husband Kieran and our puppy Odin. I'm the yarn dyer behind Kelpie Knits Yarns, and you can find me at kelpieknits.com. I'm also on Instagram as @kelpieknits and @kelpieknitspodcast. I feel like this intro is getting far more polished than when I started. I feel like I'm getting a little bit more comfortable in front of the camera. It's really nice. I hope that's coming across at least a little bit. I feel much more relaxed. It could be because I have a giant cup of coffee. Maybe, I don't know. This is my brother-in-law's mug that I have stolen, so thanks, Drew. Coffee. This podcast is the home of the Kelpie Cal 2020. The rules for this are very simple. I've talked about them, I think, in just about every episode. There are only 2 basic rules. The first is that you have to use yarn that's already in your stash. You can't buy yarn to make a project to join this cal. The second rule is that you need to post your finished object using your stash yarn in the Ravelry group that we have for the podcast. It's just called Kelpie Knits Podcast. It's on Ravelry. I'll have a link in the description like I always do. But that's it. Those are the only 2 things that you need to do to join in. And it has been so much fun so far. We're only 2 months in, and I've had the best time looking at all of the projects and seeing what you've made. It's been absolutely amazing. So thank you everyone who has joined in so far. I did say that the winner of the February portion of the cal would be announced this week rather than last week, just to make sure everyone had enough time to enter. I think I closed it too early last time. I was too keen to get the winner announced at the very beginning of the month, so I've left it a little bit longer so you've had that little bit of extra time. The winner of the February portion of the cal will win a subscription to my yarn club. This is the Great Scottish Playlist Yarn Club, and every month is a sock set that has been inspired by one of my favourite songs by one of my favourite Scottish bands or singers. You will be winning the March Yarn Club, the one that has just been revealed and sent out to everybody. This is what it looks like. I really hope you like it. You'll be getting one of these, but there are a couple of extra goodies in the February Cal prize for you that I'm excited to show you. You will also be winning this lovely Love Heart bag by Shutter Monkey Designs. This was really generously donated, and I absolutely love it. I asked you to leave comments in the last episode for which project bag you liked more, and the support was overwhelmingly for this bag. So the winner of the February cal will be winning this bag, along with a collection of stitch markers and a needle cozy that are also by Shutter Monkey Designs. I had to double check that I'm actually giving away the right bag. It's the Love Heart bag, I was right. But I have been using the Love bag for my Kyler shawl, and I absolutely love it. It's so lovely to use, and it's really converted me to the benefits of having a project bag. I don't know why I didn't bother before. It's so much easier to move my projects around. So anyway, the winner of the February portion of the cal is Miss Molly 805. On Ravelry she goes by Christy. She has one with her boho mosaic cardigan that has been designed by Irene Lynn. This was absolutely gorgeous. I used a random number generator to pick out the winner. I don't just choose myself, I use a random number, and she won, and her project is absolutely phenomenal. I was so impressed, and I feel like it is a well-deserved win, to be sure. So congratulations, Christy, you have won the subscription to the Kelpie Knits Yarn Club, and you've won all of these goodies from Shutter Monkey Designs as well. I need you to get in touch with me on Ravelry or by email. I'll have links and things somewhere here so that you can get in touch with me that way. Let me know where to send your prize to. Send me your address. If I don't hear from you by the time that this next episode is going up, then I will pick a different winner and you'll have missed your chance. So please get in touch with me as soon as you can. More details of the Kelpie Cal can be found on Ravelry. It's all there, it's all laid out. There's a great community over there that can help you if you're stuck. If you'd like to win yourself some of these prizes, then head on over there and make sure that you're entered for the March portion of the Cal, because we have another exciting prize. I have an extra skein of yarn that will be given away as part of next month's prize for the Cal. It was generously donated by Paw Ply Co. They're a new yarn dyeing company based in Aberdeen, and they reached out and said they would be interested in donating a skein for all of you lovely people to win in the Cal. So here it is. This is our donation from Paw Ply Co. It's this gorgeous red and pink skein here, and it's called the Land of Love, and it's absolutely gorgeous. It's like raspberry ripple in a skein. It's amazing. It has all of these rich colours, this rich gradient of red to pink. There are these really lovely speckles all the way through it. It's absolutely lovely. So this is going to be up for grabs as part of the March prize of the Cal. So please make sure you're involved if you would like to win this for yourself. I'm reluctant to give it away. It's, even though reds and pinks aren't usually my thing, this is just absolutely phenomenal and I love it so much. Also, check out Paw Ply Yarn Company. They're brand new, but their yarns look as if they've been doing this for a long time. They're very professional, so head on over and check them out. Well, after our sort of mini-sode snow day episode last time, I have a much fuller episode for you today, and I'm very excited. I think this is probably going to take me quite a bit longer to edit, so if this is going up late, I apologise. But you're in for a good episode, that's the trade-off. It will probably take me a bit longer, but it's going to be fun. Now, I actually have some finished objects for you this week. I'm very proud of myself. I have been working on projects, trying to get them finished, trying to be diligent, and it's paid off. The first finished object in my list for you today is my mum's cardie. I've been using the pattern Mama Vertebrae for this. I've knit it out of worsted weight, and it's finally finished. Ta-da! Now, we all know that round here, finished does not mean that the ends have been woven in. So no, the ends have not been woven in, but it's finished in my opinion. That's how I see it. I picked up the stitches around the edge of the cardigan and knitted the 5 centimeters of ribbing that I had to do to finish this off. That was it. That was all I had to do to get it finished, and I let it sit for so long, it was silly. But it's finally done. I'm so pleased with it. I really hope that my mum's gonna like it. I said in a previous episode that this is a belated Christmas present for her. I gave her a card at Christmas, along with other presents I should add, that had a little drawing of this cardigan inside it, because I knew what I wanted to make her, but I hadn't had time to actually make it. So this is belated, but she knows she's getting it, but she doesn't know what the final thing is going to look like. And I can't wait to give it to her. I think it's going to be just perfect for this time of year. It's a slightly heavier cardigan, but it has these 3/4 sleeves. They only come to about the elbow, and I just think that's the perfect combination. I think it's going to be really lovely. I've tried it on. It needs blocking because it's riding up a little bit at the moment. I'm going to try and fix that if I can. But yes, finished cardigan. I think this is my yeah, I think this is my first finished garment of 2020 actually. My Mama Vertebrae cardigan for my mum. Oh, my hair is driving me absolutely mental. I've been wanting it long for such a long time, and I've been growing it out and growing it out. But now that I have it, I never know what to do with it. I'm really bad at doing my own hair. That's why you've probably noticed in the episodes it started really nice. I was curling it, it was lovely, but it's so much work. So it hangs quite nicely and it is a nice length, but I really just need a haircut. I've got so many split ends and it looks really ratty, so apologies. My second finished object that I have to show you is my everyday Slouchy beanie by Dragon Hoard Designs. Here we go, this is it. Ta-da! This is knit with my printer broke in Fingering Weight, that's one of my yarns, my colourways, and my Grey Wolf lace mohair blend. So it's a really bright main colourway. It's white with these speckles and all the different colours, but the mohair is grey. So I'll see if I can get you a good look. It's really muted down those colours, but it still looks really pretty. It's just given it all this little muted quality. This was a sample for the shop. I wanted to show what those two colourways look like when they're held together. So it's about an inch shorter than the pattern recommends, so it should actually be more slouchy than this. But I knit the smallest size. I was never going to wear this anyway because I have a big head. So I wasn't too worried about it being an inch shorter. And the reason that I made it short was because I was already using leftover yarn. I think I only had about half a skein of my printer broke to make this, and I used up nearly all of it, but I didn't want to run out, so I cut it a bit short just to make sure that I actually finished it, because I thought that would be better. I'm going to put this down, the mohair is not agreeing with me. Oh, there's nothing quite like a mohair hat to make you realise that you just can't tolerate mohair. So yeah, I'm very relieved to have that finished. It was a fun make, it was the first time I'd ever used mohair, but it will probably be the last. My throat and my nose just can't handle that fibre, it doesn't agree with them at all. So I'm glad to have done it, but I'm also glad not to have to do it again. I would say if you're looking for a beginner hat pattern, I don't know if this is the best one purely based on the brim. The design is lovely, it's very basic once you get past the brim, but I did have a lot of trouble with the cast on and then doubling the brim up. So it's that double thickness. It took me quite a long time and I did get quite ratty with it, especially using the mohair. It might be easier with a smoother fibre, but I felt like the mohair made that quite difficult. But otherwise, I'm very happy with it. I think it looks great, and I wish that you had Squish-O-Vision, because then you could feel how lovely and luxurious and soft it is. My next finished object, I'm just going to touch on briefly. It's technically not a finished object, but it's something I want to just talk about for a second, and it's my Mermaid Daze Sock. So I showed you this a few episodes ago. Here we are. This is a very basic short sock used, I've made this in my Mermaid Daze colourway, and my original plan was to make its sister sock out of my Kelpie Knits colourway. But I found a different pattern that really shows off that yarn very well, because this was always going to be a sample for the shop. They won't quite fit my feet. I have a big head and I have big feet. And I'm quite happy with how this shows off this yarn. I think it is bright, it's fun, and I'm not too bothered about making it a pair. I might in the future, I might change my mind and want a really portable knit or something really quick and easy between projects, but for now I'm happy with it just being a single sock, since I've made it purely just to show you what Mermaid Daze can do when it's knit up. So I'm considering this finished. I don't have any plans to make the sister sock, but I will show you later on in this episode what I have decided to make with my Kelpie Knits yarn, and you might understand why I've been so keen to work on that instead of casting on a second sock. Fair warning, my last finished object that I'm going to show you is undoubtedly the cutest out of everything I've shown you on this podcast, so make sure that you're ready. This is the Brunicorn. Don't you just love it? Look at how cute he is. Try and show you all of him. Got a big long mane and the most cute, gorgeous little face. I absolutely love it. I think it's so cute and it's so fun. I absolutely loved working on it, and I really think that everyone should give this a go. It is so much fun. This pattern is Nilla the Unicorn by Rachel Borello Carroll. I'm absolutely in love with it. I knit it up so quickly. It only took me a couple of days because once I started knitting it, I had to finish it. It's knit in parts, as you'd expect, from a toy, so each arm, each leg knits up really quickly because they're so small. So it was great to work on, it was so addictive, and I absolutely loved knitting it all, putting it all together and seeing the final product. I don't usually make toys, it's not something I would usually turn to, but I saw Hannah from the Corner of Craft podcast. She made one of these in fingering weight, which I hadn't thought to do, and I thought such a good idea. I had a cake of Made from Girders, one of my colourways, ready to go, waiting to be used on something, and this was just perfect. Mainly because I get to call it a Brunicorn. If you're not from Scotland or at least the UK, you might not understand the reference between Made from Girders and the Brunicorn. To give you a little bit of context, Iron Brew is an extremely popular drink in Scotland. It's amazing, I love it. It is not good for you, it is very unhealthy, but it tastes amazing. The colours of the Iron Brew drink and the bottle are bright orange and bright blue. So my Made from Girders yarn is based on Iron Brew, it's using those colours. The name Made from Girders comes from an old ad campaign that Iron Brew ran quite a long time ago now, saying that Iron Brew was made from girders, iron girders. So that's the link. That's why I've called this the Brunicorn, not the Unicorn. Hopefully that's cleared some things up if you weren't sure. Yeah, I had a really fun time. It worked really well using the fingering weight yarn rather than worsted, and doing it that way has made me want to make a super giant one out of a super chunky weight yarn. I think that would be really cute and really good fun. So watch this space. The Brunicorn may have a big brother soon, I haven't decided. I am also considering putting kits in the shop if you're interested in making one of these in fingering weight yarn. It really doesn't use very much, which always impresses me. If I can make a full project and I haven't had to shell out for a lot of yarn, I'm quite happy. So if you would be interested in making one of these in any of the colours that I have available, let me know in the comments if you think that a kit is a good idea. I have lots of things in the works at the moment. I'm working on quite a lot of things at once, so if I know that this is something that you're keen for and you would like to have, I will bump it up in my priorities list and I'll try to get that out ASAP. This is a segment I hope I won't have every episode, but this is my In Hibernation segment, which I just feel like I needed. I really, really needed it, because the Kraken jumper is officially in hibernation. Now I know you loved it, you really like seeing it in past episodes, but it has honestly become just this huge big weight, this big millstone around my neck. Oh, I can't work on it. At least right now, I just can't. I've been feeling really guilty about not working on it. I've put it off for so long and it hasn't featured in a podcast episode for quite a long time. But I really don't like working on it. I'm not happy with how it's turned out. And there are other techniques I want to try with the colour work. A lot of people have recommended different ways for me to go about this jumper so that I don't have to carry the floats right the way around the whole thing for one section of colour, which I just think would work a lot better. I've been feeling so unmotivated because I don't like the way it looks. I don't like working on it with the current techniques I'm using. I don't think it's going to fit Kieran. I'm not happy with it at all. So at least for now, it is officially in hibernation, and I'm going to give myself permission to not feel guilty or bad or anything about it, because I can come back to it when I feel more ready or when I feel up to giving it another go. At the moment, I just need to put it to one side and not think about it for a while, because that's not the way that it makes me feel is not how knitting should be. So when I realised I was feeling this way, I decided that I had to do something about it. which is what I'm doing here. I am officially telling you that it is in hibernation. It might come back soon, it might not come back for a while, I don't know yet. We'll wait and see. Right, we are on to whips, which is a much more exciting section. The first whip that I have to show you, I kind of teased in the last episode. I didn't want to show it to you then because I hadn't worked on it too much, and even though I had done some work on it, you couldn't really see the progress. It's quite repetitive. So I've given it a little bit of a break, and now I'm going to show you how I'm getting on with it. This is my Kyler shawl by Isabell Kraemer. Here we go. So it's quite big at the top now, all the way over here, and then down to this point. So you'll probably notice quite a difference in it from the last time that I showed it to you. I've done some pretty good work on it. I have to sit and concentrate with it, so I don't work on it all the time. I work on it when I feel like it. And this is definitely a slow burner. I don't have any immediate plans to get this finished. I think it's going to take a while, and I'm okay with that. It looks really, really cool. I love the lace pattern. I think that's so different. I love the pattern. I'm not too keen on the yarn I'm using. It's this Stylecraft acrylic wool blend. I think it's a blend. I'm not too keen on the way it feels. I feel like a higher quality yarn or a natural fibre would really do this pattern a bit more justice. I feel like there's just something about this yarn that isn't quite working for me. But it's making a really lovely light fabric. I think it's going to drape really well. So it's a good way to test out this pattern, and the yarn I had in my stash already, I had quite a lot of it. I think I had 3 or 4 balls of this, so I'm quite glad to get to use it up. But were I given the chance to make this again, I think I would use a really gorgeously coloured yarn, maybe just a natural fibre. I think it needs a different fibre, personally. My next work in progress comes in a brand new project bag. You are going to be super impressed at how efficiently I am storing my projects. I'm keeping it in, it's probably quite an unconventional project bag. I find that once you start putting crafting into the name of a product, it's way more expensive. It's similar to weddings. As soon as you have anything that has wedding in the title, way more expensive. It doesn't need to be. So this is actually a kid's school bag from Kath Kidston. Here. See, on the back it has this cute little label. And I got it in their sale online. I picked it up quite cheaply. It's quite puffy sounding. It almost sounds like a puffy waterproof jacket. But I really like it, and it's perfect for this work in progress because this is my North of the River blanket. I've been working on this when I can, and it is getting quite bulky, which was why I wanted a slightly bigger project bag to keep this in, because the traditional project bag size just wouldn't cut it. It's too big, because this is in chunky, super chunky weight. But this is where I am so far. Hopefully I'll give you a good look at this here. It's a very simple blanket pattern. There's some easy beginner cabling, nothing too complicated, but the effect is really lovely. This long and meandering cable really has the feel of a river or a natural brook moving. I don't know, that's what it puts in my head anyway. Maybe it's because it's green. But I'm really, really happy with how this is turning out. It's 100% wool. This is Drops Andes wool, I think, and it just has this really cozy feel to it. It has this border as well that ties everything together. I think this is really, really, really nice. Really happy with it. It's knit on 10mm needles, so this is knitting up very, very quickly. And I just work on a row or two whenever I feel like it. This is the epitome of TV knitting because you don't really have to think about it too much. There's a cable row every 20 or so rows, so it's largely knitting and purling, which is perfect. It's perfect for relaxing, and I really, really enjoy working on it. I have no idea when this will be finished. I don't really have too much of a deadline for this one. It's just a comfort knit and I quite enjoy it. Oh, I should say, this is the North of the River blanket and it's designed by 5410 Studios. I think I mentioned the pattern name, but I don't think I mentioned the designer, and I want to give credit where it's due. So, North of the River blanket, 5410 Studios. Now, this next work in progress is exciting because this is something that I promised you in the last episode that I was really hoping I would be able to follow through on, otherwise I would look really, really dumb. So, very, very excited to show you this next one. I mentioned in the last episode that I hadn't started any of my Make 9 projects for 2020, which is really bad considering we are now in March. I have a lot of jumpers on that list, so I really need to get going with it. And I have cast on my first Make 9 project of the year. And I did ask you on Instagram if you were able to guess which project it was that I started. I posted a little sneak peek. But this is my Aperture Cowldana by Rebecca McKenzie. Here. It will curl a little bit just with the way the shaping is. I'll try and get a good look at it for you. Here we are. This is it. It's this gorgeous hand-dyed yarn that I'm using from Murray & Co, I believe. I've had this in my stash for a long time. I don't have the label anymore, so there's no way I would be able... I think it was called Brocade. I think that was the name of the colorway. I got it in someone's... I got it in a D-stash, so I'm not too sure on the name, but I know it's Murray & Co, so if you're interested, check them out. And I'm using my little sheet marker. This is something that I got from Craft Tiara Markers. I got this from Victoria. We've been working together. Because she supplied the stitch markers that went out with the March Yarn Club. And her work is amazing. It's so cute. Her markers just look so lovely, I think. And I'm using this to make sure that I know which side is the right side. So it's keeping me right. Thanks, Victoria. But yeah, this is my Caldanna so far. I just think it's going to look absolutely gorgeous. I think it's going to sit really, really nice. Just with that shape, and it's on 3.5mm needles, so the drape is going to be really lovely. It's a very drapey fabric so far, which I really love. And these lace sections just slicing into the garter stitch look lovely. It's really, really good fun. I've loved working on it so far, and I can't recommend the pattern enough. It's so well written, it's been really well edited and put together, it's very polished. So please go and check out Rebecca on Ravelry. She has several patterns up there. This is my second pattern of hers that I've made, and I can't fault it. I absolutely can't fault it. So you don't have to shout at me. I've started my Make 9 like I wanted to. I'm really, really pleased because it's about time. It's been a long time coming. I have another somewhat of a knitting milestone to share with you because I have started my first ever Tin Can Knits project. I have never knit a Tin Can Knits pattern, to my knowledge. I don't think I have. No, I don't think I have. And I've started with the newborn size of her Flax light sweater. This is it here. So you have the garter stitch detailing just on the sleeves there. I've separated for the sleeves. I'm just working on the body now. Here you go. That's it here. Now I am knitting this in my Kelpie Knits colorway. I mentioned a bit earlier in the video that I changed my mind about making the sister sock to my Mermaid Daze Sock, and this is why. I think this is going to be a really lovely sample. It looks so cute and it's really showing off the colour. I just love it. I've loved working on it. I think this is the first time I've done a top-down raglan sweater at all. I haven't done one before. The raglan sweater that I finished previously was bottom up. So this is quite a significant project for me. It's my first tin can knits and it's my first top-down raglan, which I'm happy to be working on because it's something I want to get better at. A lot of the patterns I have in mind for my Make 9 and just for the future are top-down raglan. So this is a good practice. Now if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that I originally started making the newborn size of the Love Note sweater because I thought that would be a really clever idea to make the newborn size because I know that I want an adult size for myself. And it didn't work out. The gauge just wasn't quite right for what I was looking for, so I frogged it and started this instead. But I'm glad that I did that because I would much rather frog and start again a newborn sweater than an adult size sweater with the part that I got to in the pattern. It was quite significant. So I'm quite happy to have worked out the little kinks before starting my sweater. I think I really don't want to use mohair because it makes me so sneezy and it really makes my throat flare. I don't want a sweater with mohair because I won't wear it. So I think I'm going to have to use DK weight if I'm going to stick with the needle size that's recommended in the pattern. From what I've seen so far, that's going to be the best way to do it. So I think that's what I'm going to do. If you've made a Love Note sweater, then let me know how you got on in the comments, particularly if you didn't use mohair. A lot of you reached out on Instagram and got in touch with me and let me know how you got on with yours, and that was very helpful. I really appreciate it. So share your experiences with Love Note below. But I'm quite happy that I had to scrap the Love Note because this is such a simple design, but it's so beautiful. And I absolutely love it. I don't think I could get better for a Kelpie Knits sample, I really don't, because it really just shows off all that beautiful colour here. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. And that's it for knitting content this episode. I only really have one major piece of shop news, so if you're not interested in that, it was lovely having you, and I'll see you in the next episode in a couple of weeks. The big piece of shop news I have for you is my new Be Loud colourway. This is part of Operation Social Justice that has been headed up by Gamer Crafting, and I did talk to you about this in the last episode. I mentioned it at the end. This colourway is now available for pre-order in the shop, so if you're interested, head on over there. It will be open for regular order from the 15th of March, so in a couple of days, at 12 p.m. GMT, so Edinburgh time. This colourway is very special to me. I took a lot of time formulating how I wanted it to look. I think it looks really fun and warm, which was the main thing I was going for. I wanted it to look inviting and look cozy and look welcoming, if that's possible in a colourway. That's what I was aiming for. 20% of the proceeds from this yarn are going to LGBT Youth Scotland. I really admire the work that they do with young people in the LGBT community. They help them discover themselves and feel proud in themselves, but they also support these young people's parents and teachers to ensure that they are doing what's right for these young people and young people generally, and I really admire that. So 20% of these skeins is going to go to LGBT Youth Scotland. Now, like I said, Gamer Crafting is the one who, and Angie, she's the one heading up this whole project, which is a huge amount of work, and I'm so appreciative to her for doing this. It's been phenomenal, and you should definitely head over to her site to check out more details on the project and more about the other makers that are involved. There are close to 200 now, I think. It's exploded in a really, really good way. If you're on Instagram, you should look up the hashtag Operation SJW. If you do that, you will get to see what all of the makers who are involved in this project have posted under that hashtag. It's a great way to see what else is available. There's so much, and there's so much hard work and just talent that's gone into making this project a success, so definitely check out the makers who are involved. I think I'm going to possibly give myself special dispensation to buy some yarn as part of this project. I really want to support what everyone's doing. I think it's a big deal. I want it to be successful, so I want to get involved in my own way. So I've made my colourway available, but I also want to purchase some other colourways and yarns that other dyers have made available to just support the movement, to just support what it is that they're doing. I think it's going to be really good fun and really bring about a lot of change, which is important. The only other thing I have to say about the shop is that I'm currently deciding how I want to proceed with coronavirus being what it is. Like I said in the beginning, my husband is high risk. If he catches it, it could be really bad for him, so I'm trying to proceed quite carefully. Obviously, I want to keep the shop open, I want to keep giving you lovely yarns, but my family and my family's health has to come first. I don't think there'd be anyone that would argue a different side to that. I think anyone would want their family to be looked after and safe, which ultimately is what I want to do. It could happen in the future that the closures and the self-isolation will impact my supply line for the business, but also my ability to go to the post office to send out orders. With the way things are in the UK at the moment, that hasn't happened, but I don't know how things are going to go in a few days from now, let alone a couple of weeks from now. I'm going to do my best to keep you up to date with what's happening with the shop. If you have made orders, they will be honoured, don't worry, they are coming. If you've subscribed to the yarn club as well, you will still get your yarn. If it's going to be a bit late, then I'll let you know, don't worry. It will still be honoured, it just might be a while before I can post it out if it does end up that we have to self-isolate or the post office closes or any myriad of reasons that could come around because of this. If you want to cancel orders, if you feel like you don't want people coming to the door or going to the post office to go collect things is going to be a hassle for you, if you need to cancel your order, I understand. It's okay. Don't worry about offending me or anything like that. Do what you have to do to keep yourself safe. Don't worry. The only thing I would ask is just to please be patient if it does end up that I can't get orders out. There's not really a lot I can do, and Kieran has to be my top priority when it comes to the business. Things are changing so quickly and escalating so far that I can't really predict how things are going to go. I will keep you up to date the best I can, like I said. The same as I'm sure you're hearing from a lot of people right now, it's difficult to tell. But the main thing I want to say to you is stay safe. Don't take any unnecessary risks when it comes to your health. Wash your hands, and if you do end up having to self-isolate, then take care of yourself. Look after your mental health too. It can be tricky when you're stuck in the house for long periods of time. For me, if it does come down to that, then you can bet that lots of knitting is going to happen, which is going to be lovely. Yeah, just stay safe. Bear with me. Be patient. And knit as much as you can. That's it from me this week. It's been a fun episode to film this time because I've had so much to show you. It's been really nice. I'm looking forward to getting more of my new works in progress finished because they've been really good fun. Like I said at the beginning, you can find me on Instagram at Kelpie Knits and at Kelpie Knits Podcast. If you're a maker of any kind and would be interested in donating a prize to the Kelpie Cal, please email me at kelpieknits@gmail.com. We've had a couple of really generous donations so far, and it's really lovely to get to talk about these makers and get to share that with you as prizes for the Cal. So if you're a maker of any kind, if you make stitch markers, if you make project bags, if you dye yarn, anything at all, pattern designers even, if you would like to donate a pattern that gets donated to the winner, that would be amazing. Please email me and get in touch, or in whatever way suits you. I'd love to hear from you, and I would love to share your work with the people that watch the podcast. If you're interested in any of my yarn, you can find me at kelpieknits.com. Obviously, bear in mind what I just said about the shop possibly closing in the future, I don't know, but that website is where you can find me. And I really hope that you enjoyed this video. They are becoming increasingly fun to film. I'm still not entirely comfortable in myself on camera yet. I think that comes with time, but it's nice to get to share my knitting with you and read all of your comments and see all of your projects in the Kelpie Cal. It's very rewarding, and I'm really happy to be part of this little community on YouTube, so thank you for joining me again. It would mean a great deal to me if you subscribe to the channel. The growth has been unprecedented and not something I could have predicted, so please join us, it's really good fun. Like this video if you liked it, it's the little thumbs up icon just below this video. It's a good way of letting YouTube know that you actually like this content and you would like to see more, because then it means that YouTube will show this to more people and more people will get to see it and join us for our knitting chats. There is a bell icon down there somewhere that you can click on to make sure that you get a little notification when I upload a video. That way you don't miss anything. You know exactly when there's a podcast episode here waiting for you. And I will see you in 2 weeks, so the 27th or 28th of March, I'm not sure. Around that time, that's when you'll see me next. Have a great 2 weeks, and I really hope that I see you next time.